What are the most common use cases for DaaS as a solution? Well, I know we've talked about a few of these in some of the other conversations that we've had, but BPOs, business process outsourcers or outsourced call centers, I definitely see as the one that we've seen with the highest level of growth in the last few years. So, if we think about it, organizations that used to have all these call center agents that came into one location, right, into one building, into one room, and would make their calls, receive their calls all day long in that environment. Now those folks are hybrid or remote, just like the rest of our workforce can potentially be. So embracing desktop as a service as a means of connecting those remote or hybrid agents to their dialer applications, their soft phone applications, their contact center applications. So we've seen a ton of growth there. Productivity workers in pretty much any type of vertical or organization that's out there, right? So folks that would be a traditional office worker that need access to things like maybe one or two line of business applications, and then office products, right? So things like your Microsoft Office 365 stuff, Word, Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint, and then layering in the case of financial services industries, maybe they're doing something like QuickBooks or Great Plains or some other accounting package. In the case of law firms, maybe they're layering in a document management solution or system into something like that. We see a lot in the healthcare space, specifically in clinical healthcare, where one of my favorite use cases that I've seen organizations come up with is a clinic that is providing direct patient-facing healthcare services, that the doctors were looking not only for a way to have better security, right? So, a higher degree of protection around PII, PHI, EHR, EMR, but also they wanted to just improve the quality of service by making those doctors able to be a little bit more efficient with their time. So what they instituted is a follow me desktop, right? So as doctors were bouncing back and forth from clinic room to see different patients, they had these dumb terminals that would just sit there. So the doctor would sit there with a couple of keystrokes, log in, and then their same DaaS desktop followed them between those terminals as they went into different rooms. So it really simplified, kind of the old school archaic days of having a laptop cart or even a desktop cart that they would wheel around with them from room to room. Or having to lug devices around with them and then worry about connectivity and logging back in. And now you just have these things that are sitting there that just enables them to keep working as seamlessly, quickly, and flawlessly as possible. A ton of different use cases, right? A ton of different verticals into which we apply. BPO is obviously being kind of the forefront these days, but financial services, healthcare, legal, and I know it's not really necessarily Evolve IP's forte, but even education and state and local government, right? So that's not an area where we tend to play often, but those types of organizations as well. We've had a lot of post-secondary educational institutions come to us looking to do desktop as a service for classrooms, for university labs, so that folks can log in, use applications, and then you roll one class out, the next class rolls in right back into the same virtual desktops to do their work. So suffice to say, there are a variety of ways that DaaS can help an organization from a productivity, security, and mobility perspective. It's just a matter of understanding what that organization's needs are so that we can then look to the Swiss Army knife that DaaS is to figure out the best way that it can help them. But we are assured that it can always help them in nearly every case.